I cannot tell you how sick of and disgusted by this new incoming Republican Congressman, George Santos, I am. This is the guy who earlier in the week I told you that the openly gay Jewish Republican who had been elected lied about his employment history, and he lied about his educational history, and he lied that 4 of his employees were victims in the Pulse nightclub shooting, and that it was lie after lie after lie. And then after that, we learned, okay, well, he lied about all of those things, but he is Jewish, right? It appears that he lied about being Jewish as well. Okay, I said, at least he really is gay. And I said it jokingly because, of course, he is. And it has now been revealed that 3 years ago, he was married to a woman. Now, you could be gay and have been married to a woman. We know of situations that due to stigma or family shame or for whatever reason, that a member of the LGBT community might live in a way that is different than their true feelings. And maybe that's the case with this guy. But he hid the fact that he had been married to a woman and divorced her as recently as just a couple of years ago. And he lied about everything else. So what are we to believe? And it is just stunning. Openly gay Congressman-elect George Santos didn't disclose divorce with woman, writes Roger Sullenberger for the Daily Beast. Santos ran his campaign as an openly gay Republican. Since he was elected, a number of key biographical details have started to crumble. Here is the latest one. And it is yet another one of these cases where we find out that the truth appears to be very different from the story that he told. As the article reads, and this is accurate, Santos, who claims he has, quote, never experienced discrimination in the Republican Party, broke barriers when he became the first openly gay non-incumbent Republican candidate elected to Congress. But according to court records obtained by the Daily Beast, Santos appeared to be the subject of a previously unacknowledged September 2019 divorce, almost 2020 rather, with a woman in Queens County, New York. The divorce, which Santos has not discussed publicly, adds new uncertainty to his already shaky biographical and political claims. I am openly gay, have never had an issue with my sexual identity in the past decade, and I can tell you and assure you I will always be an advocate for LGBTQ folks. Now, maybe he's bisexual. He didn't say that. Maybe there's some other explanation. But when you've lied about everything, it starts to become very, very difficult to believe that. We also have additional new information about the stories related to his supposed Jewish ancestry. CNN reporting, incoming congressman's claim his grandparents fled the Holocaust, contradicted by genealogy records. And as I said earlier this week, it's not stolen valor. We apply that to the military. But it is appropriating a story that includes trauma and oppression and discrimination that your family did not suffer and making it your own. And it's disgusting. Stecken Kaczynski write for CNN, claims by George Santos that his grandparents, quote, survived the Holocaust as Ukrainian Jewish refugees from Belgium who changed their surname to survive, are contradicted by sources reviewed by CNN's K-File, including family trees compiled by genealogy websites, records on Jewish refugees, and interviews with multiple genealogists. Santos, who has called himself half Jewish and a Latino Jew, folks, I'm actually a Latino Jew, okay, has claimed his maternal grandfather was originally from Ukraine and fled to Brazil to escape Nazism. Sounds like my family history to Argentina, except fake. In another telling, the New York Republican said his grandparents converted to Catholicism during the rise of Nazism in Belgium after fleeing Stalin. In another telling, he claimed his family changed their name to survive Nazism. Anyway, no proof of those claims. It all appears to be completely and totally made up. So there's a lot of important things here. I don't want to discount the possibility that for whatever reason, it happens that gay people marry, they get in a heterosexual marriage, and there's all sorts of different reasons. And if that's what happened, but he lied about everything else, well, then we can still talk about all those other things. But this guy it's hard to find a more dishonest person than George Santos based on what we've seen and learned so far. And so I believe everything has to be under the microscope. Now, does it matter? He was voted by the people to become a congressman, and he is Congressman-elect. As I said earlier this week, in any normal job, not a job where you're elected, you would be fired for misstating so much about your history. Now, you wouldn't declare your sexual orientation as part of a normal job interview, so that's kind of off the table. I don't know that if you tell your employer you're Jewish and you're not, I don't know about that having consequences. But your resume, where you worked, where you got your degree, these are things where if it turned out you falsified it, you would be fired essentially in just about every job. And so what happens next? What happens next with this guy? Probably nothing, quite frankly, but a disgusting turn of events. And what started with, he may have misstated or exaggerated his work history and his role as, what was it, like an asset manager or something. It seems his entire background is completely and totally fake. I'm going to now take another step back. It does seem this guy is from the species Homo sapiens. That appears to be true. He claims to be human. He presents as human. I believe he is actually human. Maybe that's the next thing that will be proven wrong. I love reading. I read every day. No matter how I arrange my schedule, I never have enough time to read all the books that I want, which is why Blinkist has been such an important part of my life for years now. Our sponsor, Blinkist, is the app that takes thousands of nonfiction books, boils them down into an explainer that you can read or listen to in just 15 minutes, which includes all the most important takeaways from the book. With Blinkist, I can absorb the essence of 15 different books in an afternoon, so I can quickly gather insights from all sorts of perspectives, make connections, have those kind of aha moments that don't happen so easily, which is why I feel enriched when I use Blinkist. Blinkist also summarizes episodes of popular podcasts into 15-minute explainers. And with the Blinkist Connect feature, my girlfriend and I can share one account, share books, podcasts with each other, talk about them on the go. And don't forget, Blinkist makes the perfect holiday gift. My audience can try Blinkist free for 7 days and get 25% off after that. Go to Blinkist.com/Pacman. The link is down below.